Wesley Snipes was the ultimate action hero of the 90s. He had the moves, the charisma, and the swagger that made him a household name. Whether he was fighting off vampires in Blade, jumping hoops in White Men Can't Jump, or taking down bad guys in Passenger 57, Snipes was everywhere. He wasn't just a star, he was a force in Hollywood. But while his on-screen battles were thrilling, the real fight that would define his life happened off-screen. And this time, he wasn't up against a villain from a script. He was facing the most feared agency in America, the IRS. This is the true story of how one of Hollywood's brightest stars went from red carpets to a prison cell. It's a cautionary tale filled with money, fame, bad advice, and a very expensive mistake. Wesley Snipes made millions and lost nearly all of it because of a legal theory that most people wouldn't dare to touch. By the end, he'd be humiliated, broke, and behind bars. So, how did it all happen? Let's rewind and find out. Wesley Snipes was born on July 31st, 1962, in Orlando, Florida, and raised in the Bronx. He was into martial arts from a young age and trained in karate and capoeira. That gave him the unique edge that later became a signature part of his film roles. He studied acting at SUNY Purchase and soon began landing roles in television and film. By the late 1980s, he was climbing fast, appearing in Major League and catching the attention of Spike Lee. His roles in Jungle Fever and New Jack City made him a star. In the 1990s, Snipes was everywhere. He had the looks, the talent, and the martial arts skills that made him a box office draw. Hollywood loved him. Audiences loved him. He wasn't just an actor, he was a brand. With action, hits like Demolition Man and US Marshals, and comedies like To Wong Fu, he showed his range. Then came Blade in 1998. That movie didn't just succeed, it changed the game. Blade became a surprise hit. It grossed over $130 million worldwide and kicked off the modern wave of comic book films. Long before the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Snipes' vampire-hunting anti-hero was breaking box office records. He would go on to make 2 more Blade movies, and at his peak, he was earning between $10 to $13 million per film. But while everything looked perfect on the surface, trouble was bubbling underneath. Like many celebrities, Snipes had financial advisors, and like many celebrities, he put a lot of trust in them. Unfortunately, that trust would lead him down a very dangerous path. Sometime around the early 2000s, he got involved with 2 men, Eddie Ray Khan and Douglas Rosile, who were known for promoting a radical anti-tax ideology. These 2 believed that the federal income tax was unconstitutional and that most Americans didn't actually have to pay it. They introduced Snipes to something called the tax protester movement. According to this fringe theory, US citizens are not legally obligated to pay federal income tax. It's a theory that has been rejected by courts over and over again. But Snipes, for reasons still unclear, bought into it. He stopped paying his taxes entirely and even tried to reclaim millions he had previously paid. It was a move that would cost him everything. Between 1999 and 2004, Snipes earned millions of dollars, but he didn't file a single federal income tax return. Not only that, he claimed he was a non-resident alien, despite being born in the United States. He also submitted fraudulent documents to the IRS, claiming massive refunds. In total, he tried to get back nearly $12 million in previous tax payments. It was a bold move, and the government was watching. By 2006, the IRS had had enough. They hit Snipes with an 8-count indictment, accusing him of conspiracy to defraud the United States, filing false claims, and failing to file tax returns. The total amount he was accused of evading? Over $7 million. He wasn't alone in this. His 2 advisors were also charged, but Snipes was the headline name. And suddenly, the action star found himself facing a real-life courtroom drama. In January 2008, Snipes went to trial in Ocala, Florida. The defense argued that Snipes had been misled by bad advisors, that he didn't act with criminal intent, that he genuinely believed he didn't owe taxes. The prosecution, however, painted a different picture. They said Snipes used his celebrity status to promote dangerous tax schemes. They claimed he knew what he was doing and tried to cheat the system. After a tense trial, the jury acquitted Snipes of the most serious felony charges, but they did find him guilty on 3 misdemeanor counts for failing to file his tax returns. The judge didn't go easy on him. In April 2008, Wesley Snipes was sentenced to the maximum penalty, 3 years in federal prison. The court wanted to send a message. No one is above the law, not even a movie star. Snipes appealed the sentence. He fought it in every way he could, but nothing worked. On December 9th, 2010, he reported to the McKean Federal Correctional Institution in Pennsylvania to begin his sentence. He would spend nearly 2.5 years behind bars. No red carpets, no movie premieres, just a number, a cell, and a daily reminder of what went wrong. While he was locked up, the world moved on. Hollywood was changing. The superhero genre exploded, but Snipes wasn't part of it. He missed years of his career during a time when actors like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans were dominating screens. His finances were in shambles. The IRS still wanted millions. His reputation was damaged. It was one of the most dramatic falls from grace in Hollywood history. When Snipes was released in 2013, he tried to bounce back. He appeared in The Expendables 3, trying to reintroduce himself to audiences. He took on smaller roles and tried to rebuild. 2021, he appeared alongside Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. He was still talented, still charismatic, but the damage had been done. The roles weren't the same. The offers weren't coming in like they used to. Meanwhile, the Blade franchise was getting a reboot without him. Marvel announced Mahershala Ali would take over the role. For Snipes, that had to hurt. He was the one who made Blade a success. He helped prove that comic book movies could be dark, edgy, and profitable. But now, he was watching it all from the sidelines. To his credit, Snipes hasn't blamed others publicly. He says he learned from the experience. He acknowledges that he was misled, but also takes some responsibility. He's spoken about the importance of trusting the right people and reading the fine print. He even jokes about his prison stint from time to time. But there's no doubt it changed his life forever. Wesley Snipes went from Hollywood royalty to a cautionary tale. His story isn't just about taxes, it's about fame, trust, and what happens when you believe the wrong people. It shows that money doesn't make you untouchable, and fame doesn't protect you from the law. At the end of the day, the IRS doesn't care if you're famous. They care if you paid your taxes. There's a reason his story still gets talked about. Because it's rare to see someone go from the top of the world to federal prison in just a few short years. Most actors worry about bad reviews. Wesley Snipes had to worry about orange jumpsuits and court dates. It's a reminder that no matter how rich or famous you are, the basics still apply. You pay your taxes, you follow the law, or you face the consequences. Today, Wesley Snipes continues to act and stay out of legal trouble. He's taken on more disciplined roles, both on screen and off. He's focused on family, on fitness, and on staying grounded. But the shadows of the past still follow him. The IRS case will always be a part of his story. And for many, it's the first thing they think of when they hear his name. Still, there's something admirable about his attempt to come back. He could have disappeared. He could have blamed everyone else. But instead, he's tried to rebuild. Slowly, carefully, and with lessons learned the hard way. If you found this story fascinating, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more real-life tales from the worlds of fame, fortune, and failure. Every week, we break down the biggest celebrity downfalls and what you can learn from them. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And let us know in the comments, do you think Wesley Snipes got what he deserved, or did the system go too far? Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.